Erin Patterson, a 50-year-old mother of two from Leongatha, Australia, was convicted of a chilling crime that shocked the world. On July 29, 2023, she poisoned four of her estranged husband's relatives with deadly death cap mushrooms, hidden in a seemingly innocent beef Wellington lunch, killing three Don and Gail Patterson, both 70, and Heather Wilkinson, 66, and leaving one, Ian Wilkinson, fighting for his life. This documentary rips open the layers of Patterson's psyche, using psychology and psychoanalysis to explore the horrifying motives behind her actions and why she turned a family meal into a deadly trap. Why zero in on Erin Patterson? Because her crimes aren't just gruesome. They're a twisted psychological riddle that demands unraveling. The way she meticulously planned a lunch to poison her in-laws with death cap mushrooms, one of the world's most lethal fungi, is a case study in deception and hidden rage. Imagine this: a cozy dining room in Leongatha, Victoria, where four elderly guests sit down to individual beef Wellingtons, each slathered with mushroom paste that's secretly a death sentence. Within hours, they're writhing in agony, vomiting, their livers failing as the toxin shuts down their bodies. Three die in days, their organs collapsing in a slow, excruciating spiral. The fourth clings to life in a coma. Patterson, the host, walks away barely sick, her lies and cover-ups piling up like a house of cards. This isn't just murder. It's a calculated act of betrayal that screams for a deep dive into the killer's mind. Let's step into Erin Patterson's world, a place where normalcy masks something sinister. Born and raised in Victoria, Australia, Patterson grew up in a middle-class family, but details about her childhood are murky. What we know comes from her own testimony: a lifelong struggle with low self-esteem, weight issues, and an eating disorder that plagued her into adulthood. She married Simon Patterson in 2007, and they had two children, but their relationship was rocky, with multiple separations before a final split in 2015. By 2023, their marriage was a battleground, marked by disputes over child support and custody, as Simon's 2022 tax return declaring himself separated set off a chain of tension. Psychologically, Patterson's low self-esteem and eating disorder suggest a fragile sense of self, what psychoanalysts call narcissistic injury. This is when someone's ego is so wounded by perceived slights or failures that they lash out to regain control. Her decision to plan gastric bypass surgery around July 2023 points to a desperate need to reshape her identity, perhaps feeling trapped by her body and her failing marriage. But there's no clear evidence of a diagnosed mental disorder like bipolar or psychopathy. Instead, her actions hint at a personality marked by covert narcissism, someone who appears caring but harbors deep resentment, manipulating others to soothe their own insecurities. Her choice of victims, Simon's parents, Don and Gail, and his aunt and uncle, Heather and Ian Wilkinson, feels deeply personal. These weren't random targets. They were tied to her estranged husband, the man she blamed for her unraveling life. Prosecutors argued she lured them with a fabricated cancer diagnosis, claiming she needed advice on telling her kids. This lie suggests a calculating mind, one that used emotional manipulation to draw her victims close. From a psychoanalytic perspective, this could reflect projective identification, Patterson projecting her own feelings of failure and rejection onto her in-laws, then punishing them for it. Her method, poisoning with death cap mushrooms, shows a chilling blend of patience and malice, a desire to kill without immediate detection, letting the toxin do its work while she played the innocent host. Poisoning is a uniquely psychological crime. Unlike a gun or a knife, it's slow, secretive, and intimate. Patterson's choice of death cap mushrooms, which she allegedly forged after tracking sightings on the iNaturalist website, shows premeditation. Death caps are no accident. They're among the deadliest fungi, causing liver failure within days. Psychologically, poisoning reflects a need for control and detachment. Forensic psychologist Dr. Mary Hahn Thompson, commenting on the case, suggested Patterson's actions align with a covert aggressor profile, someone who avoids direct confrontation but strikes through deception. Her lies about the mushroom source, claiming they came from a Woolworths and an Asian grocer, point to a calculated effort to deflect blame. Why her in-laws? Family dynamics offer clues. Simon's parents and aunt were pillars of support for her children, but but also reminders of her failed marriage. The $400,000 loan she and Simon gave to Don and Gail's daughter Anna for a house suggests financial entanglements that may have bred resentment. Psychoanalytically, Patterson's victims represent her lost objects, symbols of the family life she couldn't hold on to. By destroying them, she was symbolically erasing her own failures. The absence of Simon, who canceled last minute, citing discomfort, may have been the final trigger, pushing her to target his family instead. Her serving herself from a different plate, an orange one, as Ian Wilkinson noted, suggests a deliberate act to avoid the poison, a detail that screams intent. Picture this. July 29th, 2023, a sunny day in Leongatha, a sleepy town of 6,000. The dining room is warm, the table set with care. Erin Patterson, smiling, serves individual beef Wellingtons, each wrapped in golden pastry, the mushroom paste inside hiding a lethal secret. Don and Gail Patterson, Heather and Ian Wilkinson, all in their late 60s or 70, chat over mashed potatoes and green beans, unaware they're eating death. Heather, puzzled, remarks to Ian, "Is Erin short of crockery?" noting her orange plate stands out from their gray ones. Within hours, the guests are violently ill, vomiting, doubled over with stomach pain. By the next day, they're in hospital, their livers shutting down. Gail and Heather die on August 4th, Don on August 5th, despite a liver transplant. Ian, the sole survivor, endures weeks in a coma, waking to find his wife gone. Dr. Chris Webster, who treated Heather and Ian, recalled their confusion. Heather said the beef Wellington was delicious, but as their conditions worsened, he realized it wasn't food poisoning, it was death cap mushrooms. Patterson's own hospital visit raised red flags. She claimed diarrhea but refused treatment, walking out against medical advice. CCTV footage shows her leaving after a brief stay, later saying she needed to feed her animals and pack her daughter's ballet bag. Prosecutors saw this as a cover. She knew she hadn't eaten the poison. The leftovers, retrieved from her bin, confirmed the presence of death caps, and her food dehydrator, dumped at a tip, bore her fingerprints and mushroom residue. What drove Patterson to this? Let's break it down. Psychologically, her actions suggest a malignant narcissist, someone who feels entitled to destroy others to protect their fragile self-image. Her fabricated cancer story, which she later admitted was a lie about weight loss surgery, points to a need for sympathy and control. This aligns with factitious disorder, where someone fakes illness to gain attention, though Patterson's case escalates far beyond that. Her foraging hobby, documented on iNaturalist, shows she wasn't clueless about mushrooms. She knew enough to find death caps. Her defense claimed she mixed them accidentally with store-bought ones, but the jury didn't buy it. From a psychoanalytic lens, Patterson's lies and cover-ups reflect a false self, a persona she crafted to hide her insecurities. Her disposal of the dehydrator, factory resetting her phone, and vague stories about mushroom sources scream guilt. Dr. Stephen Warlow, an intensive care expert, described the victim's deaths as relentlessly progressive, a slow torture that Patterson watched unfold. Her lack of emotion in court, described as a death cap stare, suggests a chilling detachment, possibly a dissociative state where she distanced herself from the horror she caused. As her guests lay dying, Patterson's actions grew frantic. She dumped the dehydrator at a Kamwara tip on August 2nd, 2023, and lied to police about owning one. Her phone data showed trips to areas where death caps were reported, and her iNaturalist searches confirmed she'd studied them. On November 2nd, 2023, Victoria police arrested her after meticulous investigation, charging her with 3 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder. The trial, starting in April 2025, gripped Australia. Over 9 weeks, 50 witnesses, including Ian Wilkinson and mycologists, painted a damning picture. Patterson's 8 days on the stand were dramatic. She admitted to lying but insisted the poisonings were accidental. The jury, after 6 days of deliberation, found her guilty on July 6, 2025. Patterson now sits in Dame Phyllis Frost Center, awaiting sentencing, facing life in prison. Her lack of a clear motive baffled prosecutors. But that's what makes her case so chilling. Existentialist philosophy, like Sartre's, would argue she was fully responsible for her choices, her freedom to act making her guilt undeniable. Yet, a deterministic view sees her as a product of her fractured psyche, low self-esteem, a failing marriage, and a need for control pushing her to the edge. Her death-capped stare in court, as reported by The Age, wasn't remorse. It was defiance, a refusal to confront her own darkness. Her story asks, are we all capable of such evil, or was Patterson uniquely broken? The answer lies in the gray, where human fragility meets monstrous choice. Leongatha is forever scarred. Ian Wilkinson, the lone survivor, sat through the trial meters from the woman who killed his wife. The Patterson and Wilkinson families are broken, their grief compounded by the public spectacle. Media swarm Morwell, with podcasts like ABC's Mushroom Case daily dissecting every detail. Patterson's children, who ate leftovers with mushrooms scraped off, face a future without their mother. Her home, once a forever home, is now a crime scene, its dining room a ghost of that fatal lunch. This case isn't just about murder. It's about how betrayal can hide behind a smile, how a meal can become a weapon. It leaves us haunted, wondering what lies beneath the surface of those we trust.